Okay, it's out. It's out. The community crunch has been released finally. I have not looked at it yet. I just saw that they released the dossier for the Shastasaurus. So Dolly did say, one of the people who work at Wildcard said it was a meaty crunch. So okay, so here we are. Shastasaurus. Okay, I think this is just like a new soundtrack. Sorry, I'll listen to it later. I don't mean to be ungrateful, but as we stand on the horizon between the ending of an era and the dawn of the next, we'll take a moment to reflect on the extraordinary journey we've shared, your exuberant sense of community, and the vivid tapestry of experiences you've woven in the world of ARK Survival Evolved have truly brought our creation to life. You're the beating heart of our little dinosaur game. Some might consider the upcoming transition a bittersweet occasion, punctuated by a sense of loss and sadness. We feel otherwise. Unofficial ASC is in great hands, yours. But as one chapter concludes, another unfolds. And again, our stories will mix with yours to create something greater than the sum of two parts. Remember, it's not farewell, it's see you real soon, with more ASA news, reveals, gameplay, and ultimately the launch of ARK Survival Ascended near the end of October. So, survivors, thank you for 8 incredible years, and here's to many more. With heartfelt gratitude, Dino-Size, Enthusiasm, Studio Wildcard. A little too formal with the thing, but you know, it's a professional company, so what do you expect? All right, so Shastasaurus. Cool. So I believe the original concept for this creature was giant submarine. So let's read that, see if it came up. It looks like it is a submarine. I mean, it's got like the whole thing and everything. So this odd variant of Shastasaurus seems as curious about humans as its distant relative Ichthyosaurus. It sure got my attention when one of these sea monsters swam up to have a look at me. Luckily, its bulk turns out to be worse than its bite. Shastasaurus has weaponized the ultrasonic chirps it uses for echolocation. It can focus those sounds into a tight cone that disorients prey or widen the effect to blast apart a school of fish in a concussive wave. Interesting. So, believe that's taking inspiration from whales, I believe. I know whales do that. I think orcas do that. Am I thinking of the wrong whale? So, one of the whales do it. I'll put it on screen which whale does it. Taming a Shastasaurus is one of the most rewarding experiences in my life. I brought along some Ichthyosaurus pals to entertain their large cousin while I scraped some of its itchy barnacles off with a sickle. From then on, I had a gigantic escort in deep water. That's really cool. I actually like that. So have like mobs distract it while you like help clean it. I really like that. That's pretty cool. I like that taming method a lot. Some tribes manage to kit out their finny friend with a periscope, torpedo bays, and even a cargo hold. Those Shastasaurus end up looking like something from an old kids cartoon with cavemen who turned dinosaurs into cars and submarines. Yeah, so, oh, cool. So, like, missile launchers and full submarine. Hopefully that we can walk inside of it. I'm curious how they're going to do that with, like, if you have a driver moving and the Shastasaurus is also moving. Or, yeah, the Shastasaurus is moving. What if a player, like, jumps? Will they just fall out of the submarine, or will they stay in it? I know they have that mechanic with the Desert Titan, I believe, so, and its platform saddle, so maybe they'll do the same thing. I like that. It's a really cool addition to the game. It sucks that it's on the center, though. Unless they add a water boss to the center, which would be really sick, but I doubt they're going to do that. This guy might be pretty cool. Especially if you play on clusters, you could bring this thing to other maps. I don't see why it wouldn't be cool. Yeah, good addition to the game. I really like this. I really liked how this turned out. Hey, survivors, we're going to recap some information we've shared regarding ARK Survival Ascended in this crunch, along with touching on some topics we haven't been covered yet and expanding on some that we have. If you have been following along for the last few months, you might already know some of this information, but we've seen a lot of questions lately, so let's start with the basics before diving into some of the more frequently asked questions from the community. Yeah, so basically this is all just a bunch of older information that it's already been out for a while now. Let's go to the new information. This is why I want to. Okay, all right, safe to start reading again. Will there be a pre-order? Get access to the game early, exclusive content preloading. We aren't planning on making ARK Survival Ascended available for pre-order. You can purchase the game towards the end of October when we reveal the trailer and related media. So no pre-order, which is interesting. There are no plans to allow anyone to access the game early. You will all have access to it at the same time, and no intentions to release exclusive content only available at launch, as we intend to set the game live immediately when it's ready to purchase. You cannot preload it. Tell us more about crossplay. How will that work? Okay, so we will have a 3-phase system for rolling out crossplay. This is because it allows us to iterate more rapidly after launching a fresh title and makes managing our operations much less complicated, allowing us to deliver you a better experience. Also, we're waiting for updates on the engine plugin side to enhance the experience further. Basically, they're not going to be releasing crossplay right away, like in its full-fledged state. Wait, will it? Wait, no, I'm stupid. I guess they are. I just read the next sentence. God, I got to read more, bro. Okay, so it is so they're just not doing it for so it looks like it's not for Steam. Interesting. So it's going to be crossplay between consoles but not Steam yet. That kind of makes sense though. I know crossplay with console and Steam games is pretty iffy for the most part, so I'm not surprised about that. Crossplay, okay, crossplay with Steam. Why? Frankly, when we launch the game, we have to patch a lot because you're going to find things we missed or break the game in ways we never identified. And we prefer to be able to patch the Steam platform very quickly to resolve these issues. Once the game has passed the launch hurdles and has entered a more stable state, certifying builds on other platforms will be much quicker. And so at that point, we'll look into enabling full crossplay. Again, makes sense from a developer standpoint, probably the smart move. We'll split official servers between the respective crossplay platforms. We also intend to host some servers that are crossplay only between Xbox and PlayStation 5 to keep out the PC master race, folks. Namely, so you stop asking us about it on Twitter, X. Smiley face. Okay, yeah, interesting. I think that will be kind of nice actually for PvP players. But yeah, basically PC players will have an advantage. It's just inevitable when you're playing crossplay on console. I'm curious if that will just be for PvP or PvE or both. I'm assuming that they're referring to PvP because that's I think the only time when like advantage in terms of PC and console matters, but who knows? I could be wrong. Phase 2. Full crossplay, time frame December. This is wildcard ETA, of course. Yeah, it's probably going to be like February. Crossplay is now enabled for all platforms, meaning Steam can play with Xbox and vice versa. At this point, we will be at a stage where the game can fully enable crossplay on all platforms. What this means is that will be aiming to patch all platforms simultaneously and keep them running on the same version. And it is at this point, Steam users will be able to play on the same servers as their console friends directly. This applies to both official and unofficial servers, but don't worry, we'll still have a separate official network online that is restricted to just Xbox and PlayStation users without PC. Yeah, again, just referring to the fact that they'll have split up servers between crossplay and then not crossplay and then crossplay but just console. Okay. Phase 3, cross progression. Okay, so cross progression isn't going to be enabled to full crossplay because we'll need to integrate some forthcoming updates to the Epic Online service systems. We don't have an exact time frame for that because it's out of our control, and the integration may take some time. Plus, we're still working out the kinks for how we intend to enable cross progression for existing accounts, so we'll share more on that later. For those who don't know, cross progression is basically like your progression on like account is universal, so all the progression you make on like PC is also on console if you share the same account. Pretty cool. I mean, like it's probably a given feature if you play on multiple platforms. And it helps if you're playing crossplay. I mean, I sound kind of not very motivated or not very excited about that, and it's just because it doesn't really apply to me. I don't play on a console, so I wouldn't care. Maybe if I play on a Switch. I do have a Switch, but I haven't touched that shit in like 3 years, so I literally only got it for Smash Bros. Anyway, back to the video. What changes have been made to the servers? So we've made a few changes to the servers. First of all, we've increased the stasis replication range for structures significantly and dinos by about 70%. This means you'll be able to see them from further away before they de-render. Additionally, we'll be making use of instanced rendering for all our structure tilesets, think building pieces, meaning bases are going to run a lot better. Cool, okay. Basically, seeing bases from farther away and having big bases with a lot of dinos won't lag your game as much. Pretty good changes, I guess. I mean, that was one of the biggest problems with being on a official server or an unofficial server that's just heavily populated, just being on any server that's heavily populated. That was like the biggest issue. And I think that's actually one of the biggest culprits of that caused like a lot of FPS drops in ARK Survival Evolved. So pretty good change. But say another good sign that ARK Survival Ascended might run better than ARK Survival Evolved. I hope that's like the only hope, in my opinion. My only hope is that ARK Survival Ascended just runs better than ARK Survival Evolved. If that happens, it's a win in my book. I'll buy it. At the moment, we're still keeping the servers capped at 70 players. With a lot of the other changes we've made, we've had to make some trade-offs, and right now the tech nor hardware isn't quite there yet to increase the slop cap much higher. We'll be evaluating this over time and see whether we can increase it as further engine upgrades and optimizations come through either via Epic or us. Of course, player run unofficial servers can increase up to 100 players, and that is highly viable if they reduce the stasis replication range or lower the maximum dino counts. So basically just decreasing the cap size on official servers to 70 for now until they can figure out how to make it more without dropping the frame rate too much. My only question is, I don't think I've ever seen an official server get that many players. Maybe unofficial. Unofficial definitely can get there. I've seen PvP servers with like fully capped out, like fully filled up servers before. So I don't know. You never know. I've rarely ever seen a server reach max size. Like you got to realize that's a lot of players in a server. Usually most players aren't playing at the same time. But who am I to judge? I only play on like my own private servers with my friends. So what content changes have been made for day one? Caves, rafts, cryopods, tech, giant squirrels. This is a hot topic and we want to clarify our intentions, but we wouldn't be surprised if some things have slipped through the cracks. Generally, we intend to release content based on the map it launched with. Doesn't matter. Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. Generally, we want to release content based on the map it launched with. It doesn't matter when it launched. For example, the rafts will be available on day one and the Ryan and Natha on the island. However, tech creature variants and cryopods will not be available. They're kind of going to go with the route that they did with ARK Survival Evolved, where as they release more maps and DLCs, they'll push out the content. Kind of similar to what they did with the first game. They're going to do with this game. Interesting. I'm wondering how people are going to handle that. I don't think that's going to be received well. I don't think it's a bad thing that they're doing that, but I know for a fact people are going to be pissed off about that because they're going to be like, where's our cryopods? Where are our shadow mains or whatever, our griffins? Or they like, point is like not all the content that was in ARK Survival Evolved is available day one. And I mean, that's a given. Like most people are going to be pissed off about that. But then again, I'm a very casual player. I mean, I've been playing the game since 2015, but at the end of the day, I'm very casual when it comes to this game. I run private servers, PvE, that's it. So we have done a pass on caves with some balance adjustments to choke points and improved the cave's internal appearance. Oh, interesting. So the caves got another like rework in terms of its like aesthetic. That's pretty interesting because I remember they did that a long time ago with ARK Survival Evolved. We were hesitant to make dramatic changes to cave balance, as while the meta in ASC had flaws, we didn't feel a complete overhaul was wise. Between these changes and other adjustments throughout the game, we expect to see some shifts in the meta players create. We plan to monitor the impact of these moving parts in the hands of thousands of players and pivot as needed. Oh, so I think they're referring to like cave bases in PvE or PvP because that was pretty much the meta. Like basically all PvP bases were just based up in caves instead of like what you see in the trailers. Like I think the trailers in ARK that depict PvP is very misleading because it's like showing like really cool wars happening on the surface, like people running into each other like on horseback or something. But in reality, it's just like you soaking up turrets and like some like hoodlum's little cave base. It's not fun, not fun. But anyway, honestly, there are a fair number of changes on the gameplay side. Overhauled building, disabled leveling of movement speed on creatures and players on official network. Wait, really? Disabled leveling of movement speed on creatures and players on official network. Unofficial can change this via config, of course. We see the conversations. We already did it a while back. Wow, interesting. So you can't level up movement speed on your dinos and your characters anymore on official servers. Actually, in general, unless you like untoggle it. Really interesting. Okay. That'll definitely change how you play the game. That's actually, I don't know if I like that or not. I think I do in PvP. I think from a PvP player's perspective, that's a really awesome change because I just remember like people running around at light speed. So that'll be interesting how it changes it. I don't know if that'll be a good change or a bad change. I'll have to wait and see, but I think that balances a lot of the game out in terms of PvP. But I'm glad that unofficial can turn it off. So kind of like some other changes. I don't know. Small dino quality of lives. I'm not sure what that refers to. I'm guessing like shoulder pets and stuff. Breeding change. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Breeding changes. This is very interesting. So a lot of people have been asking for breeding changes, like for a rework on the breeding system because it is probably the most broken thing in this entire game. Okay, breeding changes. This one sounds scary. We know. Our product and QA teams were freaking out about it, but generally our intention hasn't been to change the strength of creatures, but to make the implementation cleaner. Previously, mutations were based on a creature's wild stat multiplier, and now we've given it its multiplier, a mutation multiplier. Okay. This has led to some creatures receiving some buffs/nerfs in particular stats, but we intend to rebalance this over time as we evaluate their roles in the meta. We want your feedback on that. Okay, interesting. We have not fixed getting more than 20 mutations, but we removed the 255 cap so that servers can specify a cap. We'll leave it as is for our officials, but it's open to adjustments. Maybe I'm not sure what that means. I still don't understand breeding in this game. I just know like stat points, whatever mutations get extra points and stats. But so I'm guessing that they changed some stuff with they did, yeah. So it has the mutation meter has its own multiplier, so that kind of changes how much stats increase on certain dinos and how much they decrease, or like some stats go up as much on certain creatures while others don't. And I guess that kind of led to some creatures, yeah, receiving some buffs and nerfs, which is interesting. I wonder how that'll be received as well. I don't know if it's just me, but that seems very vague, so I'll have to wait and see. So, if it's a nerf to breeding to make it less broken, then by all means, yeah, it's a good change, in my opinion. I think breeding is like the most broken thing in this entire game. I think it honestly like needs a whole rework. But that's just me. Of course, these examples don't cover everything you can expect to see redesigned in ASE. We could wax lyrical about the environment, water, sky, and how adorable wild babies are, but we'll let the game speak 1,000 words really soon. Yeah, so I think the reason they're also changing this is because allegedly they're recoding the game from the ground up. So that also could be why they're like redesigning pretty much everything. So yeah, character creation overhaul. It was paramount to our art team that we overhaul the character creation system for ASA so that characters looked less survival jank. And we successfully did that, but then we decided to say screw it and allow you to mess with all the bones and scalars anyway. So yeah, you can make something that feels nice and polished, or you could choose to make a character of questionable proportions that looks like it belongs to Ark Survival Evolved, but next gen. Okay, cool. So just like improving on the character customization. It was the character customization in Ark 1 was it was okay. I liked it. It wasn't that bad. Better than most games. So the fact that they're just taking it and improving on it, pretty good. Is there new Gareth Coker music? Sorry, in main menu, can't hear you over the new Gareth Coker music. Awesome. That's so cool. I love that. So he's made some new music for the game. That's so great. I love that. So I'm guessing that's a new main theme, and he might. That's interesting. So I'm wondering if he went back and remastered all the songs. Oh, that'd be so cool. Maybe he's doing that for every map. Oh, that'd be sick. Oh, like some remaster, something like the best songs. I don't even know how you can improve on some of these songs that he wrote. Like the King Titan, that's got to be like one of the best songs in gaming history, easily. Jesus Christ, that song is amazing. I don't know how you could like top that, but we'll wait and see. Honestly, Gareth Coker, every song he makes is a hit, especially on the ARK soundtrack. Like one of the highlights of the game itself. DLS, RTX, DI, and FrameGen. Working very closely with NVIDIA on all these things. They're actually in our game code themselves, doing all the things. You can read more about these systems on their site, but our goal is to launch with as much as we can or have it shortly after that. Okay. Unreal Engine 5.2, why not 5.3? 5.3 is a relatively recent release, and we've been keeping up with all the changes that Epic is working on. It's too soon for us to integrate it thoroughly, and quite frankly, quite risky so close to launch. For now, we've dedicated to cherry pick some things from 5.3 that we like, such as nav mesh improvements as well as the landscape, and over time, we'll continue to upgrade the entire engine to 5.3 and beyond. Okay, that makes sense from a company standpoint. Gameplay 1, you will 100% be able to see the game via a trailer, screenshots before you purchase the game in October. Not getting any more specific than that. Figured. It's nice that it will be released before the game launches. Hopefully it's not like a week before it launches. I hope it's like at least like a week or two. Week and a half, week or two. I would hope so, because I'm a little skeptical, I won't lie. I haven't seen anything other than screenshots. What about cheaters? We will still be working with an anti-cheat for ASA. We won't be sharing any more information about anti-cheat as it doesn't benefit anyone to do so. This anti-cheat will also work cross-platform, and we intend to create more systems to use in our live operations to battle against cheaters, which again, we won't talk much about because it's better if we keep that close to our chest. We'll be doing another bounty program with ASA, so you can look forward to making some money while making hackers cry as they lay in bed alone. I already know some people are going to be like the fucking Batman of official servers trying to take out hackers, Chinese hackers or whatever. So we're going back to the name SOTF. It felt easier to say that than STSOTF. But more importantly, SOTF will not be available at launch. We still intend to do it, but we're putting all our time, resources, energy, sweat, and blood into remastering the game to make it as good as possible. Fair enough. I think no matter what, SOTF just won't be as popular as the main game itself. So probably a smart move to just focus on the main game, the one that's attracting the audience. Cool. Tackling remastering SOTF for a winter release. Cool. With no SOTF, will there still be a queue? There will not be a queue system at launch, given that we intend to have it implemented with SOTF. We're still weighing up the technicalities of implementing this and whether it's worth it for the game. Depends on the direction we take SOTF, but we hear the concerns about queue botting, and we'll make sure that it's a server-side configurable that can be disabled, and will be on our official PvP servers, as well as implement measures to prevent this, such as blocking from the same connection, hardware, etc. Interesting. So just again, like getting rid of some like issues, bots, whatever. I don't do SOTF, so I wouldn't know anything about like these issues relating it. So events, extra life, ASA content. Yes, we'll still be doing these. The first ASA event will be extra life, bonus rates, and all that jazz. And then we'll be doing our first content-related event in December with the launch of Winter Wonderland. And just as mentioned above, ASA has its own content roadmap, but it's too soon to talk about that. Okay, come on, bro. Creature submissions, what's the plan? Honestly, it's taken us so long to get the Shasta dossier done because of the design and tech investigation required to ensure it was viable for us to create that creature's abilities without destroying the game. It's a challenge, but we're getting it done. This kind of threw a spanner in our calendar for doing creature votes. We might take a break because voter fatigue is creeping in. Plus, once ASA ships, the meta might establish a need for different types of creatures, and we want to give you some time before the next vote to think about that. Fair enough. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still pissed off that the Jumping Spider did not win a single vote, especially Aberration. Like, the fact, I'm sorry, like, respect to people who voted for the Yi Ling, but come on, man. Like, I can't be the only one that's, like, genuinely disappointed about the Yi Ling, bro. Like, the Mavio just would have been the much cooler option, and it makes more sense as a spider in a cave, so, but whatever. Developer Q&As, blogs, vlogs, streams, etc. We have intentionally been very quiet the last year as we've worked aggressively on shipping ASA. Fair enough. That's how most companies should be. Once the game is out the door, we intend to do a 180 and will become more directly engaged with the community. Again, fair enough. Like, that's how most companies should be. We've been reading and monitoring throughout. Trust. This could include more Q&As, streams, etc., but the general idea is that our quiet days are ending with the launch of ASA, and then you get to see directly what we were cooking up. Thanks for reading the Q&A, guys. It was great answering all your questions. Please check out the new release, ARK's About Ascended, coming to the virtual video game store near you at the end of October, blah, blah, blah. Our official ARK Play will be one of our main social hubs during the ASA launch and beyond. This is only official Discord server run by Stu Walker. Well, really, it's run by our wonderful mods and admins, so please say hi to them. And if you haven't joined this incredible 200,000 ARK community members there, you may want to check it out. I'll just be honest, that Discord is, like, not to be mean or anything to the mods, but, like, the people in that Discord are so fucking toxic. Maybe it's just because, like, some people are just negative Nancy's, but there's a lot of toxic motherfuckers in that shit, in that server, bro. So, and then, yeah, just, like, more artwork, community stuff. Pretty cool. A lot of updates. Not a whole lot. We got a lot, won't lie, but also not a ton. I will say I'm happy that we got some stuff. It's great. It's great that we got some things rather than nothing. Pretty cool, yeah. So interesting. So we got some more updates on ARK. Interesting. Unfortunately, no creature votes for a while. I will say this, yeah, it does make sense. Like, this thing, like this, the Shastasaurus was probably the most challenging thing to introduce without breaking the game, because I'm assuming I never saw the original design for the Shastasaurus, so, or like the original vote for dossier, but it was probably OP. I won't lie. So this is pretty cool that they like kind of introduced it in a unique way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty good crunch, I think. Did what it was intended to do. We got a lot of information. That's all that people have wanted for the past 2 weeks. I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful. I'm really hopeful that this game will do well. And I don't mean this in a mean way, but I probably will wait. And I recommend you guys wait too. until like some of the bigger YouTubers review this game and see like if it is a real improvement. But as a broke college student who can't really afford to like reluctantly or not even reluctantly like impulsively spent $60 on probably my favorite game franchise, yeah, I'm probably just gonna wait. Just play it safe. The last time I impulsively bought a game, which was Cube World, I was heavily disappointed and I couldn't refund the game, so I just wasted $15 and yeah, it was awful. This is cool. I really like the Shastasaurus. Really sick dino. Cool underwater creature. Love all the stuff that's been announced. All pretty good changes in my opinion, and decisions that make sense. I like that they're hopefully promising that they're going to be a lot more transparent, um, which is nice. I also I do agree with in the sense that they should be quiet until the game launches and then after that start working with the people. Yeah, I'm happy that they're taking the route of just focusing, sitting down and grinding it out, like focusing in the game. I think that's a smart decision. That's what I think a lot of companies don't do that nowadays and I think it should go back because obviously I want Ark Survival Ascended to be the best game it possibly can. And so yeah, and that's pretty much it. Let me know your opinions on everything. Maybe something I missed or misinterpreted. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.